My lords, what a powerful debate this is turning into. I'm going to focus on the part of the HMPPS report dealing with self-inflicted deaths, another symptom of this cruel sentence. The report shows that 9 IPP prisoners took their lives while in custody in 2023. Action 8 of the action plan sets out some of the commendable steps being taken to support IPPs at risk of self-harm and suicide in custody. There's reference to prisoners being managed and supported under procedures with the rather convoluted title Assessment, Care in Custody and Teamwork, or ACCT. Yet, of the 19 self-inflicted deaths in custody reviewed by the Prisons and Probation Ombudsman for his 2023 Learning Lessons Bulletin, only 5 of the individuals were on this ACCT monitoring at the time of their death. This indicates that much more needs to be done to recognise a prisoner's IPP status as a potential risk factor and to identify the triggers for suicide and self-harm that are associated with this sentence. This is particularly the case given the expert evidence heard by the Justice Committee for its 3rd report that the psychological harm caused by this sentence leads to greatly increased risks of suicide and self-harm and can even prevent release because of the perceived risks of reoffending. Being refused release because of the harm caused by the sentence itself offends every sense of what is fair and therefore increases, in turn, the risk of suicide and self-harm. What a vicious circle that is. But it's not even just about risks of suicide and self-harm arising from those who've never been released. Even in the cases of prisoners who've been released, the effect of several recalls, or even the mere possibility of recall, creates its own risks. This is again clear from the Ombudsman's report, where he recounts a case in which an IPP prisoner was recalled on numerous occasions, even though he'd not committed an offence. He was traumatised, left without hope he would ever see the end of this apparently endless sentence, and was found hanged in his cell, even though he had again been directed for release by the parole board. And earlier this year, during committee stage of the Victims and Prisoners Bill, the truly tragic case of Matthew Price was mentioned. He took his own life last year while on licence from an IPP sentence because of the anxieties he felt about the ever-present potential for recall to prison. It's indeed shocking when one is told he had been on licence for nearly 10 years. This is the invidious reach of this cruel sentence. In conclusion, what this teaches us is that whatever an IPP prisoner's circumstances, whether they've never been released and recalled, or released and are on licence, they are never free from its psychological grip. I do not get the sense from the action plan that the psychological damage caused by the IPP sentence, whether it's being served in custody or in the community, is given sufficient weight. Indeed, the action plan only deals with prisoners at risk of suicide and self-harm while in custody. It does not expressly cover those in the community, or therefore show an adequate appreciation of the need to view this sentence holistically if one is ever to stand a chance of reducing these self-inflicted deaths. The action plan could be significantly improved by doing so.